New here at 6 o'clock. June is PTSD Awareness Month, and it continues to be a growing issue in the U.S. and the upstate, especially for military veterans. The Department of Veterans Affairs reports PTSD is 3 times more likely among veterans who deployed compared to those who did not. And they also state that 7 out of every 100 veterans will have PTSD at some point in their lives. And one study found that among veterans using VA care, 23 out of every 100 had PTSD. So for much more on how to treat the disorder, we spoke with Quinn Johnson-Kearns with ThriveWorks in Greenville. Quinn, thank you so much again for joining us. I want to go ahead and just jump right into it. When it comes to PTSD for veterans here in the upstate, how serious of an issue is this for us here in South Carolina?
Well, when we speak in terms of PTSD, the most important thing to know is that a large majority of the veteran population does suffer with diagnoses of PTSD. One of the biggest issues is the fear of seeking treatment or possibly lack of access to treatment. So that's usually a primary concern. But when we are talking in terms of national statistics, it's about 7% of veterans will experience PTSD at some point in time.
And I think, especially here in South Carolina, we have so many wonderful veterans. If you could sit them all down, especially in this format here, what would be your message to them about seeking treatment, about getting help? If you could all sit them down into a room, what would you tell them?
Well, what I like to tell the majority of my clients, or almost all of my clients, is it's okay. It is okay. It's okay to not be okay. And when you have the awareness and you realize that, hey, I'm not okay and I may need some additional support, then seek that support because it makes all the difference in the world. There are a variety of proven treatments that help reduce symptoms of PTSD. And seeking help is the hardest part. Once you get started, you will be able to find the support you need and reduce those symptoms exponentially.
And I think so much of the problem too that we see and why these numbers could continue to grow. I think a lot of people aren't sure how they can help. So for any family members or friends, what's your advice to them and how they can help a friend who's also a veteran that they see that may be suffering?
The biggest thing for me, I always say for everyone, is just be there. Be a support system. You know your family members, you know your friends. When you recognize those changes or those indicators that something is wrong, then be a support system. Step in, ask them if they are okay. Attempt to provide support for them. It's tricky with a person who suffers from PTSD because you don't want to overcrowd them. You don't want to increase their anxiety, but at the same time, you need to be there as a support system for them. So take it at their own pace. Be ready, be open, be waiting if they're ready to talk. Be available if they reach out for support. But the biggest thing is to just be aware. Look for those changes if someone you know or someone you love has experienced a traumatic event.
And I think you made a great point in regards of finding that balance, making sure a lot of people
Yes.
are worried that they may be pushing too much. So where do you find that balance? And you had mentioned being available, being open, but how does somebody do that?
You look for the feedback. So just follow their guidance is the best way that I can explain. Let the person know that I am here. Show them that you are there. Sometimes being there for someone means just simply sitting with them and not maybe poking or prodding or trying to encourage them to talk. Just be there and be available. And when or if they are ready to open up to you, you're there.
I think it's all wonderful advice. And I think ultimately to wrap it up here, what's the one piece of advice you give either a veteran or a family member or a friend kind of in these moments that if you just wish they knew one thing about PTSD and what these veterans are going through, what would that be?
PTSD is a response to what you have been through. It is not who you are. It is not synonymous with the person that you have become. So there is always hope on the other side of this. With treatment, with support, your life can return to what I like to term a new normal. On the other side of these things, life is always different, but it can still be good. And that's the most important thing that I like for people to know.
Wow, that's wonderful. It's not who they are. Quinn, thank you
It's
so
it's
much.
not who you are. Thank you so much for having me.